Hi, welcome to episode 13 of the Zeens and Roger crochet vlog. I'm Rosina and I am here today in the southwest, and I am going to talk to you about what I've been up to in the last couple of weeks, mostly with regards to crochet. For that is what I love to do. I am a crochet designer as well as just a general lover of the craft, and presumably you are too, and that's why you're here. So hello, welcome, thank you very much for joining me. We'll jump straight into crochet news because I haven't got much time. The beeper on the oven's going to go off in a minute because I've got some cakey bacon in the oven, because I've got a courgette glut in the garden, so we've made 2 loaves of zucchini. It's called, the recipe is zucchini bread. I'll put a link in because it's really nice, and you might think, ugh, courgette cake, but honestly it's really nice. Very similar to carrot cake, so if you like carrot cake you'll like this too. In fact, I have got a pencil. What I'll do is I'll write it down. Is that the doorbell? Might be the doorbell. I've got some boots that are going to be posted. Hang on a sec, hang on. That's not a very good start, is it? I can't believe it as well, because I only almost just heard the doorbell go. I didn't actually fully hear a ding dong, and it was just the sort of the combination of a slight bing and an engine of a van outside. I was like, I wonder what that is. Well, no, I didn't wonder what it was. I was just like, it's my parcel. I've ordered some new shoes. I'm feeling, sorry about this. I'm feeling a chill in the air. The autumn's on the way, so I've bought myself a pair of new autumn ankle boots. We'll see. I was going to open them, but I haven't got any scissors, so I won't. And also, yeah, the cake's going to go off. I can't remember what I was saying about cake, but I've got 5 minutes before the beeper goes off, so I was going to do my introduction and then press stop, get the cake out and come back up. So obviously I've messed it all up now, but I'll just keep going. So not a very good time to actually sort of press record on a podcast, is it? But I'm so short of time. I'm sort of like, I'm just squeezing it in between where and when I can. Sorry about that. So yeah, welcome to episode 13, and from here on in probably we'll just talk about crochet. We won't talk about cake or shoes, okay? First things first, crochet news. Should we go there? I've been on holiday. We went on holiday last week, and hang on. We went on holiday to stay on a farm in Lancashire, and I've written a blog post all about it. So if you'd like to go and have a read, look at some pictures and stuff, that's probably the best thing to do, rather than sort of me talk about that for 10 extra minutes. And you might not want to hear about it, but you might want to read about it and look at the pretty pictures. That's certainly the case for part 1 of my holiday blog post, but there's going to be a part 2 as well, because there were so many photographs and so much stuff went on that I didn't want to fit it all into one blog post, because it's about 40 pictures. So the first part is about our adventures and where we went, and the second part is going to be about where we stayed, the accommodation, which was, very briefly, a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere at the bottom of Pendle Hill. And the farmer, and I don't want to say and the farmer's wife, because Frida's a farmer too. Well, they're both farmers, so you know, I don't want to be I don't want to stereotype, but anyway, Darren and Frida have rare breed sheep, and they use the fleece for wool and spinning and dyeing and stuff like that. So that's going to be part 2 of the blog post, which I'm hoping to write up today or tomorrow. Either way, certainly within the next sort of 2 or 3 days. So if you want to find out more about that, then that's coming. One of my holiday souvenirs is my new mug. You know I'm not a talker about tea on here or talking about mugs and stuff, but I got myself a souvenir mug. I think the beeper might be going. I'll press stop now I've talked about that, and we'll do the rest of the news in a sec. Hang on, sorry. So, crochet news. Cake's out the oven. Crochet news item number 2 is magazines and stuff like that. So I'll talk about that. But first, here you go, look. Those are my new boots. I quite like them. They I think they'll go with for jeans and skirts, and the right one fits beautifully, but the left one's a bit ouchy because I've got bunion. But I figure, you know, they're leather, they'll become supple, won't they, if I torture my feet for a couple of weeks, and then they'll be beautiful. That's the idea. Crochet news number 2. Reach over. I talked about Simply Crochet last time, didn't I? And was like, woohoo! So that was that one, and that's still out in the shops, I believe, because it's only been a couple of weeks, hasn't it? Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, so there's another couple of weeks of that, and that one's mine. And so far I've had lots of lovely comments and some nice feedback and stuff, so thank you very much. I won't talk about how nervous I get and stuff like that, because I've been there and I've done that. I'll shut up now. But then when I was on holiday, Inside Crochet magazine came out, and it's this one, and I really want to make this jumper. Like, really, I really like it. This one's mine, and I haven't, I should have done my usual bookmark thing. I say usual, I've only ever put bookmarks in once, haven't I? Hopefully you can see that. The issue, the theme for this issue is back to school, and I did a little brainstorm when the call for submissions first came out, and the main one that wouldn't go out of my head was gingham, because school uniform dresses are always gingham. I say always, sometimes they're grey, but you quite often get summer frocks, don't you, that are gingham, whether they're green or they're blue. I don't know if I've ever seen red school uniform with red gingham. Whatevs. I couldn't get the gingham thing out of my head, and because it was mostly the girls wear the gingham dresses, and the girls probably would like a bow and a hairband and what have you. I mean, there's nothing to, I mean, make one for your son, why not? Shut up. Sorry. So yes, that was what came out of my little brainstorming session, and I really enjoyed it. It's a lovely quick make, so if you fancy having a go, do it and let me know. But that jumper, where's that jumper? Because I've got a feeling I saw that it was Tunisian crochet, and I've only ever done Tunisian crochet once, and I'd quite like to have a go again. Yes, Tunisian crochet. I'd quite like to have another go. And that looks, I reckon I could do that. Looks pretty cool. So that's it. That's, sorry, speeding through these. That's Inside Crochet, which is out in a minute. And then when we got back from holiday, waiting for me on the doorstep was Crochet Now magazine, and that one's mine there. So this is me. I've peaked. You probably won't ever see me again. I like to think that this is my moment. I'm going to take glory from it and celebrate, but you know, it'll probably all go, what's a polite way of saying it? I don't know. Probably it'll go wrong. Pear-shaped, there we go. So yes, and this is a sort of a magic issue, if you will. I mean, it's probably aimed at sort of an October, yeah, Halloween-y stuff and whatnot. And there's lots of, there's unicorns and stuff. Let me see if I can find the unicorn inspired thing. I won't be able to now. But lots of Halloween-y stuff. But the inspiration for my blanket came from quartz and crystals, because they give you a mood board and you look at the pictures and you either sort of go, oh yay, ideas have sparked, or you sort of explore further and sort of one thing leads to another. And I thought of crystals and colourful quartz and all of that sort of thing, and tried to translate it into a blanket. So that's what this is. Initially I was thinking of amethyst, and I did this chart and it was all greys and purples to try and sort of create an amethyst look, but I needed colour, so I've sort of kept the purple and the grey as the main colours, but chucked in some colour because you need to have colour. And interestingly, it's made with cotton. It's Rico Creative cotton in Aran, and I would not have thought to use that. I was going to use like an Aran acrylic. That's what I was going for. But hey, look at that. Awesome. So yes, having sped through those crochet magazines are out at the minute, and I'm in them. Well, hey, go me. But I'm sorry if you keep noticing. Oh great, yeah, another episode where she's going on about herself. Sorry, I'll probably won't next time. So that's not all the crochet news actually. The other thing was, and I've only lumped it in here because I didn't want to forget, and that is although I can't go to Yarndale, and I want to, and I'm still arguing with myself and stuff like that, and I've had 2 offers from 2 lovely internet friends saying that they would sort of meet me halfway and give me lifts and stuff. But even if I did that, I'm still sort of paying for fuel, which probably wouldn't be like loads, but then there's like feeding myself and accommodation, not even an accommodation necessarily, because I could probably, I mean, if I made it up as far as Skipton, my auntie only lives half an hour away, and I could invite myself to stay at her house, but the logistics of it and whatnot, whatever. Anyway, I've found another one, and it's in Totnes in November, and I think it's called Stitch Fest Southwest, and it's in Totnes on the 4th and 5th of November. And it kind of seems like the answer to my prayers, really, in that somebody somewhere has gone, oh well, you can't go to Yarndale, but don't worry, because there's one just next door. Woohoo! So I don't know much about it. I did look it up this morning, and it's definitely that weekend. Yes, Stitch Fest Southwest in Totnes, and there will be a couple of people. I've looked at the what are they called? List of people that go in. Exhibitors. And I've heard of some of them, which is good, and I'm acquainted with a couple of them too. So I'm going to go and say hi. I think it's brilliant. The only annoying thing is that it's the same weekend as the tar barrels. I don't know if you know about the tar barrels, but it's an event that's here in Ottery, and it's always on the 5th of November, except for when the 5th of November falls on a Sunday, so they do it on the Saturday instead. So I'm not sure whether or not to go to the Stitch Fest Saturday daytime and then come back here for tar barrels, or go out to tar barrels on the Saturday and then go to the Stitch Fest Doodah on the Sunday. I'm not sure what's happening for tar barrels. The roads close here at 4 o'clock on the day of the event. So whatever the weather, wherever I am, I have to be back here at home at 4 o'clock on the day it happens, because otherwise I won't be able to get back home. Well, I probably would have to just like park about 3 miles away and then walk. Not that far. It's about a mile and a half actually. Anyway, you probably don't need to know all that. So I'm just thinking about what I should do, because I don't know, usually we have somebody stay for tar barrels because it's quite a novelty. It's a tradition that goes back hundreds of years here, and it starts about 5 AM with the firing of rock cannons every 10 minutes. They fire them at all different locations in Ottery, and that goes on and wakes you up. It's exciting and also like, I want to sleep. So that goes on throughout the day, and then they start the tar barrels about 4 o'clock, and that's when they close the roads. And I can't remember what I'm talking about now. Do you want me to talk about tar barrels a bit? I'll just explain briefly that there are several locations in Ottery which either are pubs or used to be areas where there was a pub, and you get groups of families and friends who are local to Ottery, and they put a flaming barrel on their back and run up and down and fight for it. Not fight, I mean mostly it's amicable, but sometimes you might see punch up. But the barrels are soaked in tar on the inside, and then they light that, and then they lift it up, whack it on their shoulders, and run through the crowded streets. Not just any old streets, but streets absolutely packed with people who are having a great time. I've lost my pencil. Having a great time watching and stuff. I want to write tar barrels on here because I've written a blog post or two about it in the past, and I thought I could link back to there, but I've lost my pencil. What a mess everything's in! So, yeah, that weekend's going to be a busy one, isn't it? Whatever happens, but also very exciting, and I'm now looking forward to that weekend. No matter what happens, I'm definitely going to do those two things. The only problem is if I go out on the Saturday night to the tar barrels, Sunday morning I might not be feeling like 100%. We'll see. Oh, it's brilliant. You'd love it, honestly. If you've been, let me know. Or if you're planning on coming. I know it's like two and a half months away, whatever. All of September, all of August. No, oh my God. All of September, all of the next month would be October. Yeah, so it's just over 2 months away. So, yes, should we crack on with, oh! I've just spotted in my notes. I almost forgot to say, like, when I went to my holiday, and you'll see this in the first blog post, on our very last day we went to Skipton, and if you're a crochet enthusiast then you might know who lives in Skipton, and that is Lucy of Attic 24. And Lucy of Attic 24 put out an open invitation on Facebook a few weeks ago saying, if you're in the area on a Friday morning, then you're welcome to join us for Knit and Natter, or whatever it was called. Just like, you know, a coffee morning with crochet and knitting and whatnot. And I went. I saw it and went, I could go to that. No, don't be silly. No, we don't want to do that. Well, why not? You could go, you know. I had an internal monologue for quite a while about this, and then I thought, oh, balls to it, just do it, go, because this is an opportunity that, you know, doesn't come around that often. And so, yeah, I went, and it was lovely actually. Really relaxing. Everybody there was really nice and friendly and welcoming and stuff. And I got to look around Lucy's studio, which was awesome. And the wool, oh, so much wool, and it just made, oh, it's that whole shelves of wool collection, the collection of wool I want. Oh yeah, but it wasn't just me, I wasn't just the only stranger there. There were at least 2 or 3 other people that, like me, sort of sheepishly arrived. Hello, I'm a stranger. So I felt okay. I was the first one. I think I was the first person who was an alien to arrive. And I don't know if that made it better or worse, but then afterwards, you know, a few more people turned up, and there was the lady from Salisbury who I chatted to, and somebody had driven what would have been an hour and a half but turned out to be a lot longer, or was an hour and a half and shouldn't have been. I can't remember. They got stuck in traffic and they were an hour and a half late, and she was, I think I would have been really gutted if that was me. She got there in the end, so that's what counts, I suppose. And then I think, yeah, sort of a few regulars. But what it did make me do was want to start a group of my own, because it was lovely. We used to have one here about a year ago, but people moved away and people got jobs and circumstances changed, and we kind of, it sort of just petered out really. And I know there's another one, but it's 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock. And obviously that's, for somebody with 2 kids, is not compatible with what goes on at home. So I was thinking about starting my own. Have you started one before? What sort of, got any advice? I don't know. I talked to the lady at the local wool shop the other day, yesterday, and she said it was a brilliant idea. I just need to find a venue that would be happy with like a bunch of crocheters and knitters turning up. We'll see. Anyway, so yes, I will crack on now with what I've been up to. Works in progress. I'm only gonna, well, let me show you this. This is my big work in progress, and I am almost finished, and I'm kicking myself as well because in my haste to get it done, I've made a big boo-boo. Here we go. It is this, the Collect Keaton colour block jumper, and it's so easy. It's been a breeze to work on, absolutely just so simple, far more easy than I thought it was going to be. And I'm at the stage now where I can put it all together, so I thought I reckon I can do this before I press record. And so, I mean, excuse all the like loose ends, I've got a few long ones thinking that I can sew. Oh my god, there's a downpour outside. I've got a few long ends, longer than normal. Some of them, oh, they're not too bad actually. I'm going to use them to sew up the sides. So you wouldn't normally have an end that long, would you? But I figure I'd use it. Anyway, so I got to the stage where I've joined front and back. So here we go. This is the front, I think. So I've gone for, I can't remember the names of the colours, but this is Drops Lima, which is a double knit. And I'm, now that I've made it, I'm a bit worried that I'm going to look like a Neapolitan ice cream. But don't worry, because I've got another version that I'm going to make as well, for sure. I hope I'm not blurry. But it's going to do that. I'm a bit worried because it's only just going to fit to there. I'm not sure my boobs will fit in this. But, like I said, I've got another chance to do it, haven't I? Because I bought enough wool to make 2 jumpers. The other one's going to be navy blue and dark brown, which is probably the more sensible colour choice and definitely something that I'm going to wear. Whereas this is a bit sort of, for me, I know my blankets and whatnot are very colourful, but my sort of clothes choices are normally quite plain, boring. So for me, this might be a bit too out there, a bit too snazz. And also what I might do is make a medium front but a small back. I started making a medium and it was so big that I frogged it back and started making a small, thinking that, oh my gosh, that's enormous. So I've made a small, but I might have to make a few adjustments. Anyway, I've got to the stage where I've done the neck, and you go around, you go back and forth. Can you hear the rain? It was so lovely and sunny this morning. I almost put the washing out and then the grey clouds came. So yeah, I've joined it here at one shoulder, and then you do the neck. So you go all the way around like this, and that's fine. But what I've done here is I was supposed to stop at this point here, because that's, you can see there's like an extra row of this many, which is like the shoulder bit on the back, and you're supposed to stop there for the neck. And I've gone all the way along, just not even thinking about it, rushing basically. And so that when you go to, I went to sew my pieces together, the front, so here's the neck and that's the shoulder piece, and I'm supposed to have a shoulder piece joining this shoulder piece, I don't know if you can see this, and then like this bit of the neck is supposed to be sort of joining to this bit. And because it's, you sew it with the right sides facing outwards, so I couldn't even hide that bit underneath. So I'm going to have to frog the neck back. But I mean, it took me 20 minutes to do that, so it's not like it's not hours and hours of work, as it is 20 minutes. So it could be worse. However, you know, I shouldn't rush. It's longer than the pattern looks, and I'm wondering if my trebles are like extra long or something. Don't know. But I think it's a good idea to have made this one as an experiment, and we'll see how we go with the other one. The only thing I did that the pattern didn't tell me to do was when I did the foundation chains, I worked into the back bumps, because I think it gives a neater finish. Otherwise the edge might look a bit rough, I suppose. So that foundation chain, I've worked into it from behind, and that definitely looks nicer. But other than that, that's literally the first hurdle that I've hit and gone, oh bum. And it's because I wasn't concentrating. So I don't have any ball bands up here, but I think it's alpaca, and it's dead cheap. Drops is always like a really easy, it's always a good one to go to because it's just bargainous. So if you do mess it up, then it's not too much, you know, it doesn't hurt too much. Let me see if I can frog that back now. But I just feel silly more than anything. I wonder what I was going to say about it. Is it I can't remember if and I swatched and my trebles did come out as longer, but the width was the same. So I don't know how to correct that. Other than I suppose you would do maybe sort of a row fewer, but actually I like a longer jumper, so I'm going to keep, you know, I wasn't going to sort of try and work out how to make it the same on the swatch, because I like it longer. The size, yeah, went down to a small, and I think probably if I had smaller boobs, the small would be perfect, but I don't. And I'm a size 12 normally, so small, I would have gone for a medium, I would have thought. But it tells you, I mean, all the sort of measurements are there if you want to check it out. And it's a free pattern, and it's on Ravelry, and it's yeah, the Colette Keaton colour bottom jumper. Sorry if I wasn't very coherent with that. I want to make, I think if the next one goes well, then I might end up making one in, you know, one in for every season or something, because it's dead simple. Not this one probably, but the next one will be, I'm going to put it into the back to school sweater cowl, which has worked, hasn't it? Because it's encouraged me to make my first crochet garment already, so that's good. I'm concentrating on this whip, and then tomorrow, and I'll finish it today, tomorrow I'm going to start on a little cream baby blanket for my friend. And I'm hoping to get that done, like a very small baby blanket. I'm hoping to get that done quite quickly. I went to the shop yesterday and bought 3 balls of Sirdar, the Hayfield one, the bonus, whatever it's called, you know, the bog standard acrylic, because that's what they do, is their sort of DK acrylic. We've got a garden centre a bit further up the road which does Stylecraft. But dum, dum, dum. I have one finished object, and I'm so pleased with how it turned out. Actually, it's the thing I talked about last week, that I only had the grey bit, didn't I? The 3 Springs shawl by Deanne from Addy Day Designs. Do I like it more than the Blur? I think I might. As much as I love my Blur, and as much as my Blur was wrapped around me keeping me warm this morning, I just love the 3 Springs. I'll show you in a minute. I'll stop doing this. Before I... oh gosh. Because that was quick. I've just unravelled 5 rows just talking. It pays, doesn't it, to do these horrible jobs when you're talking to somebody, rather than sort of just muttering under your breath on your own, being a misery guts because you went wrong and you didn't notice. Right. So if I stop there, that's where I was supposed to stop, somewhere around there. The 3 Springs is beautiful. Put that over there. That's a sleeve, by the way. I don't actually know if I haven't got fat arms. Let's see. Yeah. Here we go. Ready? Ta-da! Now, I think this is a perfect size, and it's not following the pattern. I used just 1 skein of the main colour rather than trying to source a second one or whatever. I thought, do you know what, let's just see how we go. I knew the Blur was huge, and I thought that this probably would go sort of a similar way to being that size, so I thought, well, if it's only 1 skein, then it's still going to be a good size. And look, yeah, it's fine. I can't remember exactly what I did because I was on holiday and enjoying myself, but I think this bit is supposed to sort of go on another, this bit's supposed to go on probably until about here, another 4 inches or so, I suppose, with just the grey, and then you start doing the edging. And I just stopped when I guessed. I didn't do any maths or anything like that. I just guessed when would be a good time to stop, and then sort of there was 1 row where you do some extra increases, and I did enough increases to so that it would still be the right amount of stitches to do the repeats, the multiples of however many you needed to do the wibbles. And how I did that, don't ask, I don't know. I just sort of did some playing about, and sorry, my hair's a mess, did some playing around and hope for the best, and it was okay. Surprisingly, because normally I mess something up, but you know, I make, you know, normally I make lots of mistakes before I actually get to the right place. So I was really pleased that it worked first time. The only thing I didn't do though was I got a bit carried away, and the stitches are different towards the end, and I stopped, and I didn't start doing the bigger different stitches soon enough. I carried on doing repeats of the first lace section, and you weren't supposed to, but actually it probably bought me more grey yarn. I didn't eat up as much for a couple of rows, which meant that it sort of carried on for longer. So this is Easy Knits, like a sock, probably a sock yarn, and I will put a link again because I can't remember. I know one of them's called Acid Betty, one of them's called Neon Pond, and I can't remember the other one. Sorry, I'm not very informative. Whoops. But they are called Wickedlets or something because they were all minis, so presumably the big one's called something to do with Wicked, and these are Wickedlets. But there's 3 different colours. There's this one, which is quite subtle, and actually it looks okay on camera, because when I started using this one I thought that maybe it would just sort of blend in and you wouldn't be able to see it. And this one and this one, they're all different, obviously. And nope, can't remember that one either. It helps though that it's like almost deliberate, isn't it? It looks like a nice sort of, instead of being a bit wishy-washy, it's a good merge, a blur into the colour, into the hit here. I did run out of the main colour though, about here somewhere. And I decided to use it all up, rather than sort of snip it at an end of row, which somebody sensible might do. I thought, do you know, I don't want like a little acorn sized ball of yarn, and so I just used it until it all got eaten up, and consequently it finishes halfway through a row. But as you can tell, I'm struggling to find where it is, so not a biggie, is it? Struggle, struggle, struggle. I can't actually find where I ran out. So that is quite promising. It's because I'm looking at the wrong bit, I think. Nincompoop. Yeah, I still can't find it, even looking in the right place. Sorry. It makes for interesting viewing, doesn't it? It's around here somewhere. So I used it sort of, I think it's around here, and then you can see it comes in here. It's the same colour as this one, I just started using as the main colour, and so that's this one here too, which should be grey, a normal grey, not a speckly variegated yarn. But I don't care, because I think it's nice anyway. And yeah, I love it. I think it's just, I don't know. What do you do when you have like 2 shawls or more that you love? How do you give them all equal time? Is they like children? How do you divide your time between these lovely things? That's me FO. I'm very sorry, but I have not written the pattern for my new shawl. Well, I've been on holiday and I've been working on the jumper and this, and I've just accepted another commission as well, which is due in about 3 weeks, and it's a big blanket. So whether or not I can get it done the next fortnight or not, I don't know. But I still like it. I think I'm really pleased. It's a bit creased because I just popped it in the cupboard under the stairs just briefly. I hid it out of the way because I didn't want it to be out, just in case while we're away somebody sat on it or a cat mauled it or whatever. So I hid it in the cupboard, but I didn't fold it very well, so it's a bit creased. So completely the other end of the spectrum from the 3 Springs, this one is enormous. I will write up the pattern as soon as I can, and in the meantime, do you have an idea about what I should call it? At the moment, I've just sort of written it as the crosshatch shawl, but it's not a brilliant name. So if you can come up with a better name for this shawl and I like it and I use that name, I'll send you the pattern when I've done it. You can have a free copy. So what do you reckon? Can't think. Yeah, but just like crosshatch is the only thing I can come up with. I don't really want anything that's sort of relates to the colour, because obviously people will just make it in any colour they want, and it was not necessarily going to be blue or a speckly. So what do you reckon? Let me know. Maybe I have actually sort of, I've got a document started, and I've laid out all the some of the bits and bobs and some of the details, but I need to write a chart for this one for sure, and I haven't done the pattern properly or taken photographs. I need to make sure I get those creases gone before I take some photographs. But I've had no time to take pictures, really haven't. I don't know, normally I find I manage to squeeze everything in, but I'm just running out of time at the minute. So so I've got a list of things to do with that, and it's at the top. It's in the top 4 things on my list of things to do. So that is that. And then lastly, I thought I'd show you my spoils from a holiday, because Frida gets the yarn spun from her sheep. I had to buy some. And because I was there on holiday and stuff like that, and because she was nice, I did get a reduced cost. And she's sort of winding down now as well. I think they're planning on giving it up. They're going to say goodbye to the Teeswater sheep that they've got, because I think they want to retire. I think their son has taken over the management of the farm, and yeah. But I'll let you know more in the blog post, as much as I think is interesting or whatever. But this is some of her yarn. They send it away to get spun, I think to different places, but one of the places I think they send it as far as Cornwall, but they send it to other sort of closer mills, I believe, to get spun. It's worsted spun. Is that right? Is that what you say? And I bought 4 things. I've got no idea what I'm going to do with them, other than maybe a shawl. But if you're before the blog post comes out, if you're desperate to know, if you Google Teeswater wools from Higher Gills Farm, because they sell online. And they've got boxes and boxes of stuff left. They used to do some of the wool festivals. I know that they've been doing Yarndale since the start, but they're not going to do it this year, so they won't be at Yarndale. And I think they've done Woolfest and another one somewhere in Wales, but I'm not sure they're going to do any of that anymore. So if you want to have a look, go on their website and have a look. But in the meantime, Pervert Mine, this is a lovely green, because green is my favourite colour. And I don't know if there's many of these greens left. So it's, yes, worsted spun from Lustre Combed Tops, which is a mixture of Teeswater and Wensleydale fleece. Both are listed as members of Rare Breeds, as members of Rare Breeds Survival Trust. 100% wool, hand wash, random dyed. Each one I think pretty much is unique through the methods that Frida uses. So that's the greeny one. And then I got these 2, which she caked. But I mean, it's really beautiful. And what made me want these ones is that I'd seen her, she had some knitting on the go and she was making a cowl out of this red and it was gorgeous. I don't know if I'll achieve the same effect with crochet as the knitting that she had. And it kind of makes me want to go, do some knitting. Do knitting. Not sure what I'll do about that. But maybe I'll see if I can find some crochet stitches that are just as beautiful. This, I don't know, this one's got, it's not just a dull grey brown, it's got loads and loads of different colours in it if you look closely. I mean, there's pinks and greens and purples and blues in there, and I don't know if that shows up. But these ones, I don't know if these ones are different. What does the label say on these ones? See, this one is just Teeswater. Sorry if you can hear my children, they're having a good time. I can hear them laughing. I shouted at them the other day, stop having fun! They were being too noisy. And this one is naked, and I wish I'd bought more. I was foolish, I should have bought loads of these and I didn't, because it smells beautiful. Just smells so, it's so soft as well. I mean, considering it's 100% wool and it's just come straight off their sheep, it's really, really quite soft. Probably not for those that are particularly sensitive to wool, but to me, it's just so beautiful. It's lovely. I'm really pleased, and yeah, that's good. This one's Teeswater and Wensleydale as well. So those are my treasures from my holiday. And then I got loads of these handcrafted from Teeswater wool, little labels to go on my finished projects. And then it all came in this bag that Frida made out of cotton from the local mills from the area. For some reason, although it's just sort of a stripe, knowing that that's local to them makes me love it a little bit more. Shawl, maybe? Who knows? One can never have too many shawls, surely. And I feel like I've talked enough, quite frankly. I need another cup of tea. I need to walk around in my new shoes. And I need to clean the bathroom. Because that's desperate. I've done downstairs. Now it's time to start cleaning upstairs. And cook the tea. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you're alright. I hope you've enjoyed your summer holes, if you've had any. Next week the children start school, which will be very strange, especially since the little one, it's his first go at big school. He's only 4. We've got his uniform, we've got his shoes. He's going to love it. I want to get rid of him, but also I will miss him like a ridiculous amount. So the usual gubbins. So anyway, yeah, I'll see you next time. Hopefully I'll have my jumper to show off, and maybe no, I won't make a start on the other one, not yet. Hopefully in the next hopefully in a fortnight I will have something to talk to you about, rather than just working on a secret project. I'll try and sort of do stuff for me as well. I don't want to, it's too stressful just like trying to churn something out for somebody else. Anyway, cheerio, I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye!